I hit it.
It's going live. Get some bumper in there.
Yeah. Once it's going here. I'll hit the first
Just
one.
roll in with the... We always get our sound. It's perfect. LMP, Liga Mexicana Pacifica, Winter Leagues will get going
I
here.
also think any form of Spanish music, whether it be Tejano, or any kind of, no matter what kind of Spanish music, I love it.
Yeah.
Mexican, Spain,
I'm with
whatever.
you, dude.
Yeah.
Move to Mexico. You know what I want to do is go down to the Naranjeros. That's where Jose Gutierrez playing winter ball. Former Seguin River Monster.
Sounds like he's spending his days having a little bit of fun.
Yeah. The Naranjeros de Hermosillo. And I want to say Hermosillo's like hella nice too. But I just gotta find them. But yeah, been a weird week. But I woke up. I don't know if you heard this, dude, but like a week ago, I walked out of Audie Murphy VA hospital. They're like, dude, you were in a coma for like 5 days. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what? And I was like, coma. They're like, yeah, you were shot in the head. You were found motionless, soaking wet, like in the drainage ditch near your house.
You know what's weird about that?
What's that?
I was never not informed, but I was never alerted or anything. Like, hey, he was shot.
Honestly, there's like a whole week that's just like a blank. I don't really remember anything.
It does make sense because last week we were gonna do an episode and you never responded or nothing. Your wife was like, "Yeah, Ernie's just."
I mean,
he's gone.
I just woke up and they were like, "You're getting discharged." I was like, "What discharged from what? My bedroom? Yeah. Like, where am I?"
Because your son Liam was like, "Hey."
Because I still got the bandage on. They're like, don't take it off for 2 days.
Because your son was like, hey, what happened to my dad? I was like, what do you mean? And that's when you were on your way home. I was like, I haven't heard. Last thing I heard is he had some things to do and he'd be gone for. But that's all I know is that you said he had some things to do. It is weird that it happened around the same time.
It's so weird. It's been a spin cycle the last week. I also. Man, Nakatomi, man, he's so volatile. I'm just gonna give him like a couple weeks to. I'm gonna give him a couple weeks to cool off, but basically
he needs a month.
He was in town for 2 days because he's like selling some pipeline company. And he's like, I want to play golf, but I want to see you in my office, and I'm like, oh, this is probably not good. And I walk in the office, scotch bottle flying across the room, breaks, like glass shards in the eye. He's like, you're fired, you're worthless. I was like, dude, Hiroshi, just chill. And this translator's like got that look, we're like the old man's office rocker. And he just goes off, and he goes, I'm not firing you, but you're going to have to go do public relations for my steel plant in Busan, like South Korea. He's like, I'm relocating you. I was like, what about my family? He's like, fuck your family. You work for me. This is what you're doing. And so that was a shock to the system. I was still kind of shook because I'd only been like wandering around in the streets outside of the hospital for a day and then that. So it's been wild, but
why did nobody inform me of the accident? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
How you been doing, bud?
Busy with school. So it's October now. So all the projects for film is coming in because I have 3 film classes, and in each class I have stuff to film. So I'm gonna be busy. And then at the end of the year, I have a directing video where I'm going to direct a short that I wrote myself. Nice. And I'm going to.
Do you want to tease it? Plot lines or no?
No, I'll wait till it's done. So once I record it and I edit it and all that shit and put it out, it's gonna premiere at the school in front of
Yeah.
a lot of people, as well as the other students. Also, that's gonna be nerve-wracking for me. So I had my crew, I had my actors, I had my cinematographer, I had my sound guy. Now I just have to direct. When you watch it, you'll see. Okay, yeah, it's just like my sense of humor, because my scripts are based on how I talk. So there's a lot of dialogue and there's stupid, funny humor. And the actors that I showed the script to, they thought it was funny, so they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm down." So
Sure, it's gold.
I'm so excited to show everyone once it's done and everything.
Yeah. I like it.
I think it'll.
I like your education that's going on up there. I copped out. I hated group projects so much that I copped out after film 1.
Speaking of which, so Mario is in my class. He goes, "Man, I haven't seen what's his face in a while." I was like, yeah.
Dropped out.
He's like, he remembers you because
Dropped out. Worked at Jivy Lube. You know.
he's like, I remember him because of his green jacket. Because when you guys did that news report, you were all dressed up in the blazer and shit.
Oh, I can't even remember. I don't know if I took this up there then, but it's been a while.
No, I've seen the video.
Was it wearing the jacket? I don't know.
So I just tweeted out all of our.
Yeah, I just tweeted out live with head wound.
I made sure to do both our channels, like the 3BGB Twitter and mine. I know it's X. I call it X sometimes.
Yeah.
I like both names, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all good. Shout out to the family as always. I don't know, is this ATG hat in the shot or is it blocked?
I don't see it, but then again, I could be looking in the
put it right here.
wrong direction here.
So my goal to get
it's in the shot.
Okay. My goal to get Jake Whalen.
I think so. Let me look it up on the internet.
An MILB Hatbilly swag. Was like Zazzle or something. I took that dope ass Godzilla. That's money. I took that dope ass Godzilla image that he did for the interview that we fucked the sound up with.
I'm going to go ahead and turn this music off here.
That's cool.
Shut her down.
And
I want to lean back.
they're like, yeah, okay, we'll make your shirts for you. And then they're like, we can make all kinds of other shit too. We can make pillows and blankets. And I was like, man, I'm about to buy all this shit. And then they were like, dude, there's a copyright thing with the image. So now I got to find like a local dude who's not gonna sweat the Godzilla image and get some MILB Hatbilly swag made for Jake and then send that out to the crew. So yeah, there's that. What else? What do you got on tap to do? You want to talk some Rays, buddy? I know.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on that.
Trevor Bauer.
So here's the thing with Trevor Bauer. I'm glad that he has proof, but I'm on the other side, not against him, but I hate how fucking people are like, well, there's still other women out there. I'm like, dude, give the man a fucking break. Let him breathe. Like,
I don't know anything about his personal life.
I've heard he's an asshole. I don't know.
We don't know?
I don't know how he is outside of baseball, but as a baseball player, I like him. And I understand there was that one time where he threw the ball. I think it was Terry Francona. He, like, chunked it.
Yeah.
But, see, I don't have a problem with that because I would have done the same thing. Like, I'm a hothead sometimes.
I don't know if he comes back or if he just stays in Japan. He's like, dude, I like the food. They got nice skate parks.
In my honest opinion, even with his little evidence that he has, I don't think nobody's
going to want to touch him. There's too many prospects coming. He's like over the hill. How old is he? Like 30-something?
I think, yeah, he's got to be, right? Early 30s? Yeah,
I don't know if Bauer comes back, but pitching is like the hardest thing to find in MLB. So, like, if he fully... I don't know if he's ever going to fully rehab his image, but, like, I would say his accuser's looking pretty... from what I saw, I didn't watch the whole thing. What little I saw was, like, looked pretty pre-planned, premeditated hit job to try to do what she was doing and accuse him of this stuff. So that's kind of messed up. If you had to... Don't stick your ween in crazy, Trevor Bauer, but you did, so like you had to deal with that. He did, man, and that's what happened. So, but yeah, that's interesting development.
I saw that. I was really hyped.
With the Rays sign him, I mean, you always need pitching. Rangers Pitching sucks.
Me personally, this is just my opinion. I would be hyped if we signed him. I mean, obviously he's not going to be like a what do you call it? A franchise player.
Yeah.
But who knows what he could do? Year contract or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're looking for like. Here's what I'll say. So I don't know. Here's the segments I got, and I said Rangers pitcher sucks, but I want to follow it up. Our starting pitch has been really clutch. It's just we had the most blown saves in the MLB this year, which is killing you. Like I don't know what our Pythagorean theorem is if we could actually close a game, but some bullpen issues, some depth of bullpen issues, to say the least. So I don't know. Pitching is a premium, but yeah. Playoff talk, Rays. Rangers took down the Rays. I don't hate. We are on to Jake Whalen, MILB Hat Billy, the great MILB Hat Billy. Jake and the Orioles, man. And he says they got a shaky bullpen too. So I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting series.
It'll be an interesting series, and I don't know if you've seen this. Scherzer might be back. He's injured. That's the other shot right there. Am I in that shot?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Is
got
ATG in that shot?
My Rays shirt on there.
But I don't know. I got a few segments I can go with besides getting essentially fired by Nakatomi. I wrote an article. And of course, I just came out of a coma. But the gist of the article that is a small percentage of Houston Astros fans, when they were children, their moms were banged by a Rangers player, an unnamed Rangers player.
Like, there are franchises that I don't like the Dodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not a fan. Don't like their fan base. But at this point, the Astros have the shittiest fan base in all of baseball.
Well, I happen to know like a lot of Astros fans that are just cool dudes that are friends, and they don't really hate Rangers, and they're not like haters, and it is what it is. But for a real small percentage of them, man, they just like are real rabid. And then I just have always been confused. I'm on record on every show like I'm so confused about why they hate the Rangers. I was like, dude, do you not eat Nolan Ryan beef? Do you just hate the state of Texas, or like I don't understand.
Nolan Ryan beef is great, by the way.
Well, he pitched for the Rangers and pounded Robin Ventura in the face 100 times. That's a great moment in Texas history. And then he went and he was with the Astros forever and ever. And then you're going to turn around and let Bud Selig turn us against each other?
Like, I was born and raised in that city of Arlington. Well, I'm from Dallas, but obviously Arlington is Dallas.
You're probably a little tyke running around when Nolan was just crushing.
What year would that have been?
90s. Had to be 90s.
I do remember 90s baseball of Rangers a lot because
yeah,
I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandpa was always watching Rangers, so I remember a lot of those players. So I know a lot about the franchise just because I'm from Dallas, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting Rangers, man. That's a long-suffering franchise, you know?
They're not going to win it this year, but they could get past Baltimore. I doubt it, but
I don't know, like, and that's another thing about this Astros fan kind of, right? It's like, dude, you guys didn't win shit until like 17.
Yeah,
and now it's like, dude, the level of dealing with the Astros, some of these Astros fans on social media is like, dudes, what are you talking about? Like, Rangers fans don't talk to you. We never won anything. What am I going to say?
But
I'm going to talk about our world titles.
You guys went back to back at least. I mean, it's not a lot to stand on as far as like, oh, well, we won one, but if you think about it, the Astros only won one, and they're acting like they've had this dynasty of winning like 4 out of 5 or some shit.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's like new Stros fans because it's like, dude,
it got dark over here. Holy shit.
That's like it's like the Cowboys fans.
It's way brighter.
The Cowboys fans, you know,
yeah,
you talked too much shit with Aikman, and you were just too happy about it. We're just too happy about life, and then the gods, the Greek gods of football, came down and says, "Oh, you want to run your mouth? Let me show you what a couple decades of just mired in incompetency looks like." And the Stros are thinking like, "Oh, we're just going to win world titles forever." Go ahead and look at the history of Major League Baseball and tell me, with the exception of the Yankees, like in the 30s and 40s, who does that? Nobody. Your time is coming to not be on the top of the mountain, and then you're going to have everybody pooping on your face.
I am ready. This year was they're getting there, because this year they kind of struggled a little bit. I mean, granted, they kind of turned it around towards the end and got into the playoffs. But yeah, their time, and I can't wait till they have a losing season to see what the fans say.
Yeah.
Just don't bitch. Give me an honest answer as to why this happened. We don't need stats or anything. Just what happened? The injuries? What? Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. Look at what happened. No, we're not looking in the past.
It's common. I mean, I think
every franchise has their struggles,
their ups and downs, and the downs will come.
I mean, look at the Rays.
I think Tucker. I think you lose Tucker to free agency. Altuve's getting old. Verlander's going to age out. Framber, you're probably losing to free agency. Like, don't last forever. George Springer's gone. Like, I don't know how your farm system going to keep turning out dudes like Bregman and Tucker, but like, dude, it just don't go forever. It does not go forever. So pretty soon they're going to have to eat some crow, but man, it's annoying as shit.
I thought it was funny.
Driving me crazy.
I thought it was funny because at first you were kind of like, they're just talking. Then a couple weeks later, you're like, man, I can't stand them.
Like I said, I think it's a small person. It's like the loudest. The loudest is like they don't speak for the millions, but there's like 20 really loud people on social media. I mean, I think most Houston Astro fans are like was like rooting for our team. We like our teams. We're psyched when they have a good year, and we're just hoping for the best. Somewhere
there's some guys like, man, if Dickie Thon was still playing.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're playing the Orioles. I'm not going to shit all over the Orioles. I'm hyped for the Orioles because they're this good in the AL East, and you got flipping Jackson Holiday in the minors.
AL East is the toughest division in baseball.
It is. You ain't kidding. They got some dudes, and if the Orioles are doing this, and you still got guys that are basically going to be league leaders hanging out in like AA, AAA, and you got Adley Rutschman, dude, they got some draft picks that are panning out. That's like, if they get more pitching, wow. Orioles.
The Yankees in Boston's like, well, we'll just fucking pay to win. So, I mean, next year they're not going to be as shitty as they were this year.
Yeah, Orioles look good. I'm not going to hate, man. I think it'll be a good series. I think there'll be a tough match. But, like, the Rangers starting pitching's looking great right now. Our lineup is super scary because we already had some really solid veterans. This rookie, Evan Carter, is looking like Josh Hamilton reincarnated, perhaps without crack issues. You know what I'm saying?
In a way, I feel so bad for Josh Hamilton because he was shitty.
So good.
He was shitty. He fixed his life, right?
Right.
Came back, dominated baseball, and now he just crumbled again.
Kind of fell off again.
And
I heard he's still, like, up in Dallas, like, doing stuff. Like, he like does speaking engagements.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can go to rehab all you want, and you can do all this shit, but at some point you fall off the wagon again.
I wonder from this camera angle if I could just like lay down. Can I like lay down and just be like, am I in it?
I was gonna say about Josh Hamilton from experience.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've fallen off the wagon. I'm good now. I've been pretty good for like the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, Hamilton.
So like I know, man. Like when you think like I was good. I was sober for 3 years, and then one incident turns from one thing to another, and you fall off the wagon, man.
Fall off that wagon, but that dude couldn't make the adjustment on a breaking ball in the dirt. I'll tell you that. He'd have hit 50 homers if he could have figured out that they had a book on him, and he just wouldn't make the adjustment. He's like, dude, I don't need to make the adjustment. I'm such a tremendous athlete. And he was an insane 5-tool guy. But, man, if he had a little bit more hitting philosophy, he'd have been so dangerous.
He was a beast, man.
He was a beast. He was a total beast. But, Josh Hamilton. But, yeah, Evan Carter, man, that dude's looking like he's even more disciplined at the plate. He's kind of like all the tools, but disciplined at the plate. And then if Scherzer comes back and you just, like, don't close with Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman I don't like because he's kind of, remember how he did the whole Yankees thing? He just was like left off the roster.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't have to go to mandatory workouts. They ain't gonna really leave me off the roster. They ain't gonna do that.
You know the playoff roster?
Yeah, the Yankees. Yeah, the Yankees were like, because that's what his attitude was. He's like, I'm too good. I'm special. Everybody else has to go, but not me. Like they ain't gonna leave me off the roster. You know, so, but they found out he did. So that kind of attitude scares me that he's he's in our clubhouse because I think that's a shitty attitude to have. But he does throw 101, so.
The numbers were peaking pretty high.
But I feel like
they were at 0.
I feel like our volume.
Yeah, it's at 0. I'm trying to turn it down. We're not.
Yeah,
we're not
so loud. We're always loud.
So right now it's at -5, so that's pretty good. It's not bad.
All right. But yeah, I'll keep the mic a little bit farther from my mouth. But yeah, Chapman. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't like. Do you really win a World Series if you have a guy on the team that might be a cancer? I don't know.
Probably not.
But anyway, you got Leclerc closing, and maybe Chapman sets up, and a couple other dudes in the bullpen, and then you got a pretty good starting lineup, or starting dudes, and Scherzer comes back. I don't know. But our lineup's awesome, very dangerous. See what happens. Then you got, who else you been watching? You watching any of the other games?
I don't have like
D-backs or anything?
Cable or anything, so I'd listen to on the radio.
Yeah.
But I've been paying attention like on the radio. Like I was listening to the race, the two playoff games we got to play in this year.
Yeah.
I listened to those on the radio, and like the second one where we lost, dude. Okay, I had hope in the second game for a second, because it was like we scored that one run. I'm like, okay, 7-1, here we go. Like, all right,
come back of the year.
We're gonna start doing some runs because we came back earlier in the year from 8 runs down. So like with the Rays, I'm like, yeah, dude. I never say the game's over until it's over, because they're one of those teams that they have a good offense, and once they get hot, they can come back and score some runs.
It's a good ball club. How many wins? You guys had 99 wins?
Yeah, 99 wins.
That's insane. That's an insane season.
And then 2 years ago, we finished with 100 wins. So like,
that's
and dude, what really pissed me off is like there's like nobody at those playoff games. No fans showed up really.
Yeah, it's tough.
It was terrible. And we just could. I don't know, dude.
I was saying, like, I remember going to the Kingdom as a kid, like 16,000 people.
It's packed.
Well, it's just like, because it's seated 60. When it's seats that many, it's that sparse, it looks bad. But
yeah, of course. But then they say the Rays, they took away seating. They're like, well, what are they doing that? Nobody goes. Don't act like you give a shit, because you don't.
Oh,
If I could go to Rays games, I would go all the time. I've seen the Rays live a few times when they went when they would play the Rangers, because AL teams. But
yeah,
I've been
should
to
throw.
Tampa.
I forgot to do this. I gotta put the Seguin back up. I don't know. There we go.
Like I've been to Tampa.
Stirs for life.
When I've gone, there was no baseball happening.
Stirs for life. News in the Stirs world, but I don't think I'm free to share it. So we'll see what goes with that. But great organization.
You can tell me when we're done here.
Yeah. What else? What other segments you got on tap? I got some random shit.
I was just going to talk Rays and shit, because
Rays.
It's been
what free agents are the Rays losing? Like, what's your turnover? You lost Wander Franco to 15-year-olds.
Now, I'm not saying shit till the facts come out, but it's not looking good.
I don't think that one's gonna do a 180 the way Bauer's story did. I think it's gonna completely go down like the Titanic. It is what it is.
I've held on to I have held on to all my Wander Franco cards that I've bought, because I've bought a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until the facts come out, and I know in my head, I know this shit's it's fucked. But I've got to stop and let the facts come out. But in me personally, I'm like, yeah, he's fucked up. It's over.
It's horrible, dude.
But as they say, you gotta let the facts come out and the stuff first. And when you see people on Twitter, they're like, don't judge the guy first. But I'm like, of course you'll say that. But the minute something comes out, you're like,
it does not look good. But what's the pitching staff turnover? You guys got some arms, bullpen. I mean, pretty good lineup. Some dudes in there, We
got to replace Franco, but we do have some good. Don't worry though. We have tons of shortstops in the minors. You know what I'm saying? We have, what do you call them? Potential players. I always call them potential players, even though I forgot their proper name, because I struggle with my words.
Prospects. I struggle with.
Yeah, I always call them potential players, and they're actually called prospects. But yeah, I always suck with names because I can remember names of these dudes. But yeah, we're good. There's no negative thoughts for me. We're going to come back next year, make another playoff push, World Series perhaps.
You could do it. Tampa Bay Rays.
Because if Siri and Arezareno wouldn't have got hurt towards the end of the year. They came back obviously, but they because they came back from injuries, they weren't there in their full stride yet. So that's kind of why we slowed when we got into the playoffs and got our ass pounded by the Rangers.
See, Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz is good.
Jose Siri.
Yeah, see.
Josh Lowe, right? What did he do this year? He was pretty good.
Oh, we have studs, man.
Josh Lowe hit 20 dingers. Siri hit 25. Rosarena. What? Isaac Paredes hit 31 dongs?
Yeah.
And 98 bibbies? I mean, make these guys household names.
Shout out to WDAE from our Rays games that I've been listening to in Tampa.
Shout out to Bonnie and Mo Jorgen.
A lot of people.
ATG.
A lot of people too is like,
Crew, Trey.
A lot of people
Chicken.
are like. Go ahead, dude.
Sorry, I was just thinking. I was throwing shout outs on top of you, but sorry.
I was gonna say every year during the baseball season, it's like, hey, how about them Buccaneers? I'm like, I'm not a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. People think I'm from Tampa. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Tampa.
I mean,
I don't know anything about Tampa other than that Channing Tatum movie where he's a stripper.
I've been to Tampa.
Magic Mike.
I've got a friend.
Is that in Tampa? That's in Tampa, right?
What?
The Magic Mike movie?
I'd never seen it. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you.
Channing Tatum fan. This is a pretty decent movie considering Matthew McConaughey's in it. But
there was a cool spot called Taco Bus that was in Tampa.
Yeah.
It was a shit, man. It was a restaurant called Taco Bus. Get some tacos.
Nice.
I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been to Florida since I went to Fest in 2000 October of 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is our other camera still dark?
Yeah, that's why. Well, see the sun comes. The
sun comes out and it auto changes.
It gets dark as fuck. Yeah.
I wonder if I can drop this down here. I'll go like this.
So that's why I just left it on the other one because it's more bright. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But who knows, man?
I can go over here and do all two at once.
I don't think you realize how long your microphone cord is, dude. You have tons of room. Also, I was looking at podcasts again because I always look at other people's podcasts, and like some of these podcasts, these other people suck, dude. They're so boring. They just boring. That's all I can say.
Man, I ain't talking. I
don't mind saying other people's podcasts is fucking boring because, for one, those other people are never going to see this, and two, they don't do a damn thing for us, so it doesn't matter.
Never see.
I'm just not like one of those people because I know like why should I kiss someone's ass when they're not gonna do a damn thing for us?
Here.
But
you like that one?
The first
one.
Like that? That's
that
my
one?
favorite.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Let's roll that one in too. More segment action. We'll move MILB Hat Billy over.
You want to sit here or what?
No, I'm just gonna move stuff so I'm not.
Gotta keep your hat in view.
Gotta
or what?
manage. I'm gonna put that over there. Cover up Ad Rock. What's that?
Should.
What was that? Did I move that?
You moved something that I don't know. Whatever you moved, it wasn't active. So.
There we go. I can wander around.
Maybe it's the secret footage of who actually shot you.
Maybe.
I saw the clip. I'm like, huh.
Of what? Of me getting shot?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that. You sent it to me?
Yeah. Your wife sent it to me. She's like, oh my god. He's been shot. And I was like, who the fuck did it? She's like, I don't know.
The police didn't even open an investigation.
Like,
there's no criminal investigation open. I show up at taking an Audie Murphy VA with gunshot wounds to the head, and there isn't even, like, the city of San Antonio doesn't even care. Turnstiles going down.
And nobody was home when that happened, so they can't, look outside the window like, what the fuck?
So that's a flippin' mystery. If there's footage, I'd love to see it.
You would think I would be more like, oh my god, concerned, but I mean, you ran across some sketchy people, so I was like, it makes sense.
I don't know. I'm like major portions of my memory are. I was confused. I've been confused for a week because Nakatomi was so pissed, firing me, and then I got gunshot wounds to the head, and it's been wild.
The fact that you thought this was our debut episode kind of worried me a little.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man.
You ate too many beans. I don't know.
So Phillies look strong. Playoffs. What else you got? I still think Braves are the favorite. That's just based pitching. They kind of don't have a whole lot of holes.
Of course, you still have the Dodgers.
Dodgers. Yeah, Dodgers fucked my Venetian bet by 1 win.
Did they finish with 101?
Yeah. No, they finished with 100. I had 99. I'd have been good. But they're 162.
So
Unbelievable.
Basically, what you're saying is the Rays were only one game less than the Dodgers. So the Dodgers were only one game better.
Yeah. I can't believe. And I would have won that bet, too. These 9,900 win teams like the Days, that's rare, dude. That is rare.
I kept looking at the standings and look at their wins, and I was like, "Oh, dude, it's gonna get close." Because it kept.
Well, I was like, dude, I'm a moonwalk into the cashiers and cash that bet until fucking August. They went 24-5.
Because wasn't it like they had 88 wins with like 16 games left or something?
No, their record sucked. I mean, they're gonna make the postseason. I was like, I don't care about you making postseason. You ain't gonna win 100 games. And then they went 24-5 in August. So that's insane. 24-5. Why don't you just go fucking like 29-0? I mean, it's insane. Somebody you couldn't beat them like 5 more games in August. I mean,
they took
20-9, still an insane August record. You got 24-5. Unbelievable.
It's funny how you're not even trying to congratulate them on the run. You're just like, God damn it, they lost my bet.
Yeah, gambling makes make you a sports hater pretty quick.
I've never gambled on sports.
That's fun. Good time. Good way to lose some money.
Because I don't take risks like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's money down the drain, but I spend it on a bunch of other dumb shit anyway, so like I kind of get enjoyment out of it.
Here's how much I fucking know. Going into this season, I had Vladimir Guerrero as going to be the home run king.
That's not a bad bet.
And I should have known that was stupid because last year he wasn't even the top guy, but I was like, I don't know, man. Something in my guts telling me he's going to come out and have a what do you call it? A surprise badass home run season.
He should have done it. Judge was injured. I made that bet too. I figured Judge is huge.
That's not a bad pick at all.
I mean, he had 6-1 odds, so I was like, well, he should be in the top 3. He plays in Yankee Stadium. It's a Homer Dome.
And there's always 1 or 2 players that every year are good and you don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
Like this fucking guy, I
I wonder if I sit down here and like my little head just like peeps out right here. Is that a good look right there?
It's up to you,
See
buddy.
what that looks like.
It's dark as fuck now again.
That's good. It looks dope on your YouTube though.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like in school, like when
I don't even know if it's in focus.
we're seeing the videos on the thing, and as opposed to what it really looks like. It's like 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Like on the computer, on the thing, and then the other thing. And it's like, the fuck?
That's how it works.
So you can never get an actual... Because, like, what if that's how it looks on the internet, but then... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like this feel right here. Get right up in you and just talk baseball.
You know? And then Angel Hernandez, his stupid shit.
Guys can have a job forever, man.
The union,
That's like...
The union. They said the umpire union is why he still has a job.
Yeah. That's like getting rid of Garrett, you know?
Jason Garrett?
It's just like you thought it would happen. You think it would make sense to happen, and it will never happen.
My thing is...
Finally happened, but...
The union has to be at some points like, dude, we can't keep covering your ass. Like, you're a disgrace.
Right. Like, what if you were like in a plumber's union and you're just like flooding houses? Do they just like... I don't know how that works.
Because like, as the union leader, what do you say? Oh, the plumber, that was an accident. He's never like this. 4 out of 5 calls have been that he's flooded their houses.
Yeah.
And and at this point, I think he's doing it on purpose because he knows.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll say this. Like, I don't watch a whole lot, but like, if you didn't have all these like tracking, you know, like the little box, like we didn't have 10 years ago, the box that could show you the perfect strike zone with radar, and then all the social media accounts doing umpire report cards. I kind of liked a shitty call and Earl Weaver coming out of the dugout and losing his mind. It's just part of the game.
My Earl Weaver in my time was Lou Piniella.
So, yeah, like Lou Piniella, you know, that kind of stuff.
I love Lou Piniella.
I love that stuff. The fiery, you know, the fiery argument. And, I mean, I know I want them. They got some replay stuff. They're doing better calls, but I don't know, man. They're going to go to robo-umps, but I really honestly think it's social media and all this, like, data we have now to show them how shitty. Don't get me wrong. Angel Hernandez is shitty.
He's the worst. Is
but
he the worst of all time?
Probably.
He said probably at the
I
same
don't know.
time.
But, like, remember we were talking, like, one of those podcasts where, like, back in the old days, they get in, like, fist fights with the umpires and get suspended for 2 days? Mm-hmm. Bring that back. Somebody just knock Angel Hernandez's... Like, what would happen if Schwarber... Remember when he lost his shit? And he, like, threw his bat and threw the mega fit? What if he just knocked his block off? What are you gonna do,
Here-
MLB? That's a 10-game suspension. Bring him back. It's worth
Here's the
punching
thing.
his lights
Here's
out.
the thing too. If the umpire is being an asshole to you because they know they won't get kicked out, but you will, MLB players should be allowed to strike back, like you said.
You should be allowed
Fucking
to.
push that motherfucker down.
You should be allowed to
Don't
hit.
like kick him or anything or hit him, but
Yeah.
just push him down. Like fuck you.
The only reason that's a bad idea, is that there's a lot of the dumbassery in youth sports where people want to get in fights with umpires. It's like, dude, it's Mickey Mantle.
The
Let it-
parents.
Yeah.
Parents. I'm like, look, your little 6-year-old son is not gonna fucking be anything worth a shit in a couple years when he realizes he'd rather play Minecraft and
Yeah,
hang out with his friends.
but yeah, but Schwarber should be able to punch. Angel Hernandez only get 10 games. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wasn't it you came up with the penalty box? That was your idea.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't remember what I
Baseball
said.
penalty box.
I don't remember what I've said, but players should be like not ejected from games, but just like, okay, go sit down for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, cool off and come back.
Hide from the camera down here.
Huh.
Yeah, I think a penalty box.
Cause like because it's stupid to kick people out of the game. Like no, he's hot headed right now. Let him cool down.
Yeah.
Just like in hockey, put him in the box.
Put him in the box.
And I was like how they go in the box with the fans behind him, getting like beat on the glass and shit, and talk shit to the players.
I like it.
I'm gonna write a letter to MLB about that. Have an MLB penalty box.
That was a great idea. Let me tell you a story. I got more information on the Curse of the Colonel.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the Lincecum Curse of the Mariners, we can do that.
Sure.
So remember when I talked about the Curse of the Colonel with
Correct.
the Hanshin Tigers?
statue and
the
shit?
they threw the KFC Colonel Sanders into the river.
Yeah.
There's an article, and I don't expect everybody to read the shit that I read, so that's why I'm telling people, so they don't have to read it if they don't want to. A guy did a really deep dive on the Curse of the Colonel, claiming it's no curse at all. So I think it happened in 1985, and this is what he said happened.
Somebody died.
They make it, like, I guess they made it to the climax series or whatever. They win the Central, I believe,
I'm gonna
and
switch to the bright one here.
nice. They win the Central, and so everybody's going nuts. They're getting hammered. They're celebrating, and what they're doing is they're singing. So like Japanese fans are crazy. They have a song for every dude in the lineup that the fans will sing from like the outfield rooting sections. And so they're doing this for, they just clinched or whatever. They're going to the World Series, the Japan Series, and they sing the song, and then some drunken fan who they think looks like that guy stands up and jumps in the river. That's what they were doing.
That sounds kind of fun.
Like a lookalike.
That sounds kind of fun.
So, like, which is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, there's like no voting. Like, you kind of look like him, you jump. But anyway, they were doing this. They're singing songs. They get to that player. Some dude who looks like that player stands up and he just dives into the filthy river. And so then they get to Randy Bass. Randy Bass, American black guy. And so they sing that song and they're like, we don't have anybody that looks like Randy Bass. So their idea was then to throw in the Colonel. I don't know what that means in this era of politically correctness, but that's why they threw the statue in, because people were going in the river and they didn't have a Randy Bass lookalike, which I thought was a hilarious add-on to that story that I did not know that fact. But he says it's no curse at all, because they did that and then they went on to win the Japan series that year, and that's the last year they ever won. So it didn't happen after. Like, that celebration didn't happen after the Japan series. It happened just before they won the Japan series. So I thought that was interesting.
Huh.
So is it a curse? They won it after they threw in the Colonel, and they recovered almost all the Colonel except for his fingers.
Well, he don't need his fingers.
Yeah, and that was pretty interesting where that statue's ended up. But I digress there. What else? Juan Soto free agency.
Plus, I didn't get home last night from school till almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so I was so tired. I didn't get a chance to take a lot of notes because I was so tired. Because, like, my classes, I'm in school for 8 hours a day. But yeah. I remember you. I think you posted that thing on Twitter a while back. That little.
Yeah, that one. But that was an add-on. I'm very interested in the Curse of the Colonel. Because it's like the Curse of the Billy Goat. I saw that on Twitter. They kicked out that guy with the
Cubs.
The Cubs goat.
Yeah, I watched that one too. Yeah, it was. Cool.
Was it like Hanshin where they kicked him out and then they still won that year, but that was the last year they ever won, or they kicked him out and then they didn't win?
I think.
That'd be interesting to know exactly when these curses become effective.
I don't remember because I have only watched that documentary once, but I think it was like, they won, and he's like, you'll never win one again for kicking me out. I think that's right, but like I said, I don't remember.
Interesting.
But I do know it was that year. Either they won or they didn't win. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's crazy how like these quote unquote curses are like. Well, I mean, if you look at their World Series records after that, they didn't win.
They've been winning now.
Just like with Boston, but that's long gone.
Yeah.
They won, like 2 right after that, right?
Yeah. Boston broke the curse. I think, here's a curse story. Remember when they put the David Ortiz jersey in New Yankee Stadium?
I saw that, yeah.
Did you see when they pulled it out?
It was filthy.
It was filthy, but it also had like holes and tears in it.
Yeah.
Are you entirely sure, Yankees, that you got it all out? Because I think the curse is still going to be effective if you have shards of that shirt or pieces of that jersey still in there.
Because even if it's just a little thread.
If it's a little thread.
It's still part of that
You
jersey.
need to take out the whole block, like use one of those cement saws, take the whole thing out, and then refill it. You can't just... Because I saw them. They jackhammered it away, got to it, tore it out, and it was kind of like messed up. I was like, I think there's still some of that jersey in there.
So here's if curses help teams eventually win, do I just start making one up for the Rays? Oh, the curse of firing Joe Madden.
Yeah. Your guys' curse, clearly, in my personal opinion, is when you took away the devil from the Rays.
I hated that. And I know it's been quite a long time now, but I like the Rays name, but it doesn't sit as cool as like Devil Rays.
The Devil Rays.
But apparently that was to make it more family friendly because it had devil.
Horrible, and that's why they cursed themselves, trying to be PC.
Because if we did have the curse, we would have won the 2020 World Series.
That's right. See?
We wouldn't have got beat by the Dodgers.
If you were the Devil Rays, you would have won it.
We would have swept the fucking Dodgers.
Yeah, but that's your curse probably. Just like the Mariners didn't draft Tim Lincecum, and therefore they will never win.
Because I feel like if a team has a curse, eventually they get a World Series, right? At some point.
At some point, they'll break it. But they have to put Devil back on their name. They have to be the Devil Rays.
If I could find a way to win the lotto and buy that team, we're going back to the Devil Rays. We're going back to the
buy this lotto ticket. Isn't it $1 billion right now?
It's a lot.
You could buy that team.
I would be like, look, man, we're going back to the original
Devil Rays. Put a big pentagram.
We're going back to the great sleeveless green sleeve thing.
Yeah.
I don't. The Devil Rays was sweet, man.
Did you see the thing? It was maybe you tweeted it about the Wade Boggs statue that choked the kid, and then they took it out of the concourse.
No, and if I did, I don't remember.
Well, that's an important part of Rays history.
I've legit had concussions from work, so there's things I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like legit, dude. I'll get out of school at night, and I'm like, where the fuck? So the parking garage. I park in there. I'll get out of class, and I'll walk into the parking garage, and I can't fucking remember where my car is.
Oh man, it was one of the funnier. Like unplanned Twitter threads I've ever seen. So then it was like a Rays fan posts a picture like Wade Boggs in his batting stance, full size living statue in the concourse, and the guy was asking, he's like, anybody know what the Rays did with this statue?
Jason said thanks on episode 50.
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
Bonnie.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, dude, you're the best, Bonnie.
Congratulations on your eventual ATG 1000 episode.
ATG 17,000.
It's coming.
ATG forever. I mean, honestly, this is like, it's kind of like, you know how you have like cover bands and stuff. I'm just full support.
I always look at it like
support ATG.
Like we're in a punk scene, and it's like usually you play with the same set of bands.
Yeah.
Until one of those bands like breaks out and gets famous, and they bring the other bands along.
Yeah. ATG will break out. But it was funny because it was a Rays fan. He was like, anybody know how this Wade Boggs statue? And then, unironically, the next tweet was, yeah, some kid got his head stuck in it. And then he showed a picture of the kid, like, getting choked out, and, like, the paramedics. I laughed so hard. And then they took it out. Only a kid would get into that statue. Get himself choked out.
I will forever tie Wade Boggs and Sunny Philadelphia together.
Yeah.
Just because that episode.
That episode is a great episode.
What was awesome was, and I know we've discussed the show, like, a million times on this channel because it's great. But, like, he goes out to the park, he hits the ball, and he, like, whacks it out of the park, and he's like, oh.
It's like, holy shit.
He's like, hey, can I have another ball?
You roped that.
But I think that was done, like, it wasn't on purpose. Like, I didn't think Charlie was going to actually hit that. Because if you look at Mac's face, it looks like it's like, oh, shit. Like,
Charlie Day. Multi-talented.
I love that.
Talented musician, actor.
He's a beast, man. Even on their live shows, he does the Nightman stuff on the piano. That episode is so great.
The Nightman? Oh my gosh.
Because what is it? Because he's like, you got to pay the tow troll to get into the boys' hole. But they made this. They were trying to say soul, and it sounded like hole.
Oh my god.
So he's trying to get into the boy's soul, and it was like boy's hole.
Yeah. No, the Nightman. I need to go back and watch that one. It's like Trailer Park Boys. I'll just go back and watch episodes I've already seen 15 times just because they make me laugh so hard.
Dude, I've literally seen Trailer Park Boys, like, the episodes probably hundreds of times. I've rewatched the series straight through so many times.
Oh my god.
Because I always my favorite character is J-Rock.
J-Rock's great, but like the writing is so good because
Yeah.
like, remember the one where like Ricky had to go harvest all the piss jugs? He had to harvest piss jugs from
Charlie
like.
Day played college baseball. That makes perfect sense.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's what
research
Bonnie
that. Okay, Bonnie knows.
It makes perfect sense. But yeah. Trailer Park Boys, like that episode where J-Rock was like, hey, what's up, honkies?
Yeah, no, J-Rock's a absolute genius character, but all those characters are good. I was thinking of the one the other day where they were just like harvesting piss jugs on the side of the freeway, and then they like cut to Ricky, who's like smoking, and he's like, I gotta figure it out. He's like, all the truckers like fill up with gas and a large coffee at like Cohocton or whatever, and by the time they get to Sunnyvale, they're ready to rock a piss. I love they say rock a piss because like nobody uses that term except for probably Canadians. I'm gonna rock a piss, and then they get full and they throw their piss jugs out right about here.
Way the road, Ricky. Way the road.
And like Corey and Trevor out there like collecting all these fucking gallon jugs of piss. So
It's a damn shame that they didn't, because apparently they weren't paying them like properly. Because Corey and Trevor was the best duo. Like, they were so good.
They're good, but like I think at some point you're just like, can you give everybody $100,000 on a show with that budget? I don't even know what their royalties are, but anyway, yeah, I think paying that entire crew, that's a pretty big cast.
And then they had the Dirty Bird, the peanut butter and jam.
Oh yeah, they got some dudes.
The mustard tucker.
And some dudes. You know who follows me?
Huh.
Of course, like random people will follow you, but Cyrus.
Oh, the guy that would always roll with like 80s music in his car.
Yeah.
This thing's fucking loaded, bud.
Cyrus, I don't think he has any idea of anything, but I think I tweeted something about him or some episode, and he followed back, and I was like, that's kind of a special moment if Cyrus is one of your followers. I only have like 700 followers. One of them is Cyrus, unless he unfollowed, which is highly likely. But
I don't even have near as many. I just started using Twitter like earlier this year, I think, or some shit.
I think the rotate, like Twitter, people like want to hate on Twitter or whatever. I have no problem with Twitter, but like Patreon now has an app, so you can put your articles up there.
Pay you for your stuff, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not asking for money. I'm just saying as you post articles, I think there's a good community. Like all that Andy Brown art shit into a.
People's always like, hey,
like ATG. I'd pay for ATG content. I'd pay big dollars.
I've never paid for any content as far as like supporting it. Now I've bought like merchandise and shit from people, but I've never done a subscription thing.
If ATG was like, $10 a month pay-per-view, I'd pay for ATG content. Those guys are hilarious. They should charge. They could be millionaires.
It's like, hey, this tier gets
They'd never do it. They're DIY hardcore, but I'm just saying. I'd rather watch them than any other thing.
It's like, you can watch our video a week early. Like, oh, shit. But the thing is, they film it on the weekend. They put it out.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, get you, like, whatever. There's going to be all kinds of things. Like, hey, $10 a month gets you your name mentioned in an episode, or you get a free shirt every month or something.
Gold.
Yeah, I've never used Patreon for anything.
And the other thing is,
I mean, it makes sense why people use it. You know.
I know this is weird. I because the last couple of weeks are kind of a blank in my memory. I actually wouldn't
know why.
Remember my name. And they're like, I think your name is Ryan. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go by Ryan.
What'd they say your last name was?
I didn't have any idea on me. They said I was just soaking wet and shot in the head.
Damn.
And so
I was in class that day, so I clearly wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah. But they said the way that my brain works, it said I had exceptionally low brain activity and that they could leave the bullets in there was the safest thing to do.
Kind of like when you get pinned between a car and a tree, they're like, you take this fucking car
you're
out.
Gonna bleed out. You're going to bleed out. So like, if we try to dig the bullets out of your head, you'll die, and you don't really use, from what we can tell looking at scans, much of your brain.
Now here's my question.
You know.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Did you get shot, or did you just... Okay, clearly you got shot.
Well, I don't know. I haven't really looked. I haven't taken this bandage off.
Or were you having a death match, and that was like the spot?
It's just a blur.
Instead of getting light tubes, you know, or something, to like, shoot the motherfucker. Like,
no, I don't know.
This dude's dedicated to this match. Turnstile death match. What is it? King of the death match and shit.
I have no.
Dude, I'm gonna go on. I need to stop before I go on a story about deathmatch wrestling. It is my favorite. But CZW used to hold these tournament of death matches. Oh, they were so fucking good.
That's good stuff. I love a good death match. Like when you busted out the cage, throw some tacks in there.
Yeah, some crazy shit.
Some tables.
I used to, when I used to backyard wrestle, I would let people hit me with shit because I thought it was cool.
That's fun. Everybody wants to do that.
I'm like, you see that fucking board just whack me across the back.
I'm not a Bills fan, but I almost want to be, so I go to a game and jump off a fucking Astro van onto a table.
Get the table.
We should do that. We should just go to Walmart. Like, instead of doing a show, let's just jump onto a table. That's the show.
When I used to backyard wrestle, we put our friend through a table. It was fucking awesome. We had one set up, and then we choke slammed them through it, both of us. It was awesome as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you had to get the thinner tables, because if you get, like, a legit hard table, it's just going to look stupid and not break.
You got to break it.
I miss my backyard wrestling days.
It'd be funny if I bounced off.
It has happened. Like, it happens all the time where the table doesn't give like you think it would, and it just bounce, and it looks fucking stupid. So then the wrestler will get on the turnbuckle or the ladder or whatever and do it again, and it still doesn't break. So then you're like, fuck it. And you can tell the wrestlers get mad because they just do another spot or something.
All right, well, let's jump on some tables next time. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Do you think it's safe?
We should start a 3BG backyard wrestling thing. Let's start a company.
Put some...
I still watch backyard wrestling on YouTube all the time. I'm like, damn, dude. I want to fucking get in the backyard and...
Yeah. I think so.
Suplex somebody.
So next, that's the next goal. Maybe I'll jump off hard enough to like jog my memory to like remember my name or remember what happened.
You need a concussion. You need a chair shot to the head.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
He's like Turnstile's gonna fucking kill you. Right?
Who's Turnstile? I don't even know.
I'm getting excited here talking about wrestling.
I don't even know.
He's like, dude, yes. So, I have to comment on this. So, I'm a CZW.
Bonnie's in. Let me check comments.
Yeah. So in my Hat Billy, just mentioned Nick Mondo. And
Jake's in there.
Yeah. So as a CZW diehard, Nick Mondo was one of the fucking best wrestlers there. Now, there was two spots that were fucking awesome with that guy.
Yeah.
There he is. So there was one spot that was the dumbest spot of all time. It was Nick Mondo versus what was his name? The owner of CZW at the time.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. They were on top of a building, and there was a stack of tables and like a cabin of light tubes between that. And they got up there, Zanzing. That's his name, Zanzing, whatever, something like that. And they got up there, and they were like, dude, the tables are too close. We're going to overshoot it. And they fucking did the spot anyway. And, Nick Mondo was knocked unconscious for like 5 minutes. And it was, dude, I love
hardcore.
Yeah, and then there was another match with Nick Mondo and Homeless Jimmy. And they got on top of a rider truck. And, dude, Nick Mondo did his badass Mondo sledge through this table of light tubes. It was fucking sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I could talk deathmatch wrestling and CCW all day.
So, that's awesome. Let me ask you this, though. jumping from height onto a table, I feel like you have to front flip and then bat your back. Like it's like you can go like you can like keep your eye on it, but I feel like the blind front somersault is the hardest core.
Because I was gonna go be a wrestler after high school,
which you should still do, frankly.
And I was learning some moves, like we were like not at the school, but like with my friends and I we learned. But what I remember back in the day was like when you fall or whatever you do a spot, like kind of like have your head up, like kind of tuck it a little bit, because if you go flat, you're gonna fucking obviously hit your head,
smack it.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, CCW. Now there was another shithole. There was another shithole organization. I think it still runs. Called IWA Mid South, and there was that Ian Rotten guy. He's a piece of shit, you know.
I'm gonna get a.
But yeah, dude. So wrestling is my shit, especially deathmatch wrestling. It's just my shit. There's a guy named June, whatever. He's this Asian guy. He's called the Crazy Monkey. This fucking dude is wild, dude. If you look at his back and his arms, he's just fucking caked in scars, man. A good light tube, because like these fuckers break light tubes, and then they take the fucking edge of the broken light tube and start cutting them up. I mean, obviously you're gonna blade a little. The
fluorescent light tubes.
Yeah, and obviously you're gonna blade a little to make it look more extreme. But then sometimes these fuckers don't know how to blade, and they just cut
too much.
They cut an artery, and it's just fucking pulling down like a goddamn waterfall. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's crazy. That sounds like just table breaking for the next show. Just wrestling moves.
Put some light tubes on it.
Like that's pretty solid. Like, because I can't remember anything. If you put me in the sleeper, like we can practice the Boston Crab, we can practice the figure four. You can put me to sleep. I might remember my name. I don't know who this turnstile is guy you're talking about. And then we can jump on some tables. And I'll try to recover my memory.
So what we'll do is we'll get on top of this house right here, right?
Yep.
We'll set up 2 tables, and in between those 2 tables, we'll have a log cabin of light tubes.
Yeah.
And I go to suplex you, and you go through it. And then you, after the spot is over, right? You wake up, and you're like, dude, I remember who I am now. You just have to.
It can be like that.
I'll just say, because like, you know, they're like, Chattahoochee's still on name, but a lot of times at death matches, like, fuck him up, Chattahoochee, fuck him up.
That water tastes like...
that's what I'll do to you.
I like it. I like getting the idea. Let me check what's the wife.
Yeah. I feel like I just need to do an episode where I just talk deathmatch wrestling the whole time.
Yeah, we should just do pivot to wrestling in the off season.
I've been watching deathmatch wrestling since fucking high school, right? Like, and it's cool. A lot of here's what I'll say about deathmatch wrestling. A lot of people will say, okay, they don't have traditional wrestling skills, which may be true in certain aspects, but like they're still putting on a show, they're still performing, right? So they have talents of some form.
Dude, I love wrestling. You know what they did? The best wrestling I saw recently was what was that? And these dudes were fucking good, dude. Was Traders Village. It was like one of those local, like Alamo, Mission City Wrestling or something.
You know the best thing about those local shows is
it's the minors.
The what do you call it? The promos and the characters, because they're always like wacky as fuck.
They're awesome, but like I think it's the same as like Double-A baseball, right?
Yeah.
Like those dudes are
fun,
like all the guys that you see in WWE. I think started in something like that, right? They just get your reps in.
Everybody started for the most part.
Right.
I mean, there are some people that went to like the training school and then they started, but most people definitely put their time on the indie scene.
I would say the dudes I saw at Traders Village, and by the way, this is one of the greatest flea markets ever, but had the acrobatics was like top shelf. They just didn't have the size. You know, they weren't like roided out huge dudes, but man, they were flipping off top ropes and slamming, and it's sweet.
There's a lot of older guys that hates that style. Like they're fucking doing their body wrong, and they're taking chances of getting really hurt doing moves. I'm like, you're doing steroids. It's the same fucking thing.
Give me Mick Foley's body. That's peak body performance right there. You know?
I thought
Mick Foley. That's where it's at.
He's done some stupid shit in his day too, man.
All right. We got Jake Whalen in here. Friendly wager. Here's my wager. If
I think Nick Gage for me has the perfect wrestling body style.
If the Orioles, who's that now?
Nick Gage. He's a deathmatch guy. But to me, that's when I think about like a wrestling body. I think it's pretty cool. stocky kind of.
Yeah.
It's got some weight to him, some meat, right?
Al Snow or Mick Foley?
Al
The
Snow,
weirder,
Al Snow
the
is
better.
jacked as fuck. Right? If you look him up right now,
Yeah, is
he's jacked as
He's
fuck.
fact.
He's clearly roided up, but
So here's my wager for MILB Happily Jake Whalen, the legend.
yeah, current NXT is pretty cool. Yeah.
If the Orioles win, I don't know if Jake heard, but all the cool MILB Hat Billy swag I tried to get, because Jake, dude, your shit is awesome, but we're like, Dutch was saying, need some merch. Need some MILB merch. And I was like, that's a great idea. I'm going to make a shirt with this awesome picture. And Zazzle just cornholed me. Blue Falcon says violated copyright. And I was like, oh, hell no.
What image did they say?
I think it's the Godzilla thing.
Oh, okay.
But, so anyway, I like put in the order, paid them. I guess they refunded my money. I haven't looked, but,
what website was this?
Zazzle?
There's another website that I have. I'll give it to you. The one that, the HED guys with their hats
Yeah.
and shirts and shit. I
don't even look cover it. Just make the flipping shirts.
Yeah, that's what
Let
I'm
me worry
saying.
about the legal.
I'll send it to you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'll do that. And then we can all get awesome MILB Hat Billy stuff. But if the Orioles win, I will order a throw pillow or blanket.
The World Series or just this series?
This series, if they beat the
Okay.
Rangers, he'll get extra cuddling stuff, for the couch.
I will say this. It's looking pretty good for the Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know. The Scherzer thing is a crazy development, but that'll be a good series. But if the Rangers do win, then you're fucked. We just all get shirts and shit. But no pillows. But I'll go the extra mile if the Eels do it. They've earned it.
They've been struggling for a while. So it's nice to see them finally.
Nice to see them.
The right people together.
I think everything's in their favor. Not that this is kind of sad. I mean, Brooks Robinson passed one of the greatest glove. The greatest glove.
Tim Wakefield or whoever it was too.
That's super sad, man, because he was young.
Yeah.
I mean, Brooks lived a pretty full life, but man, Wake was, by all accounts, just an outstanding human being.
Some people
really
consider
sad
Brooks
to
Robinson
see.
the
You feel like
greatest
you know him,
third baseman of all time.
but you don't. Yeah, Wakefield, man. We need another knuckleballer. Usually, there's one every so many generations. We need another.
Wasn't R.A. Dickey? That was his thing, right? Knuckleball. Right.
Yeah, Dickey. And Dickey wasn't always a knuckleballer. I think he was like a top prospect, like flamethrower, coming out of like Tennessee or wherever.
Tennessee. I'll tell you what, R.A. R.A. Dickey, some bitch, man. Also, the new Hat Billy's good. The new ATG's good.
They're gold.
I was watching the Hat Billy one with the AstroTurf, and he was talking about the one in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Veterans
Phillies.
Stadium was brutal.
I've played on. Well, I haven't played as far as like on the team, but like where I'm from, we had in Mesquite, Dallas, whatever. I'm fucking whatever. I don't give a shit. They had the high school football stadium. The Skeeters had AstroTurf for the football field.
Yeah.
So my friends and I would go up there and play football on it. Dude, that shit fucking hurts to get tackled on, and it's so hard. Of course, it shortened their careers, man.
Yeah.
There's no give.
In other news, because my grass looks like shit because it's been 106 degrees, and then like I don't know what's killing it back here. Somebody says grubs are killing my backyard.
We had those at my old house. We had to.
Does that kill grass?
Yeah,
so that's what's happening.
Like, yeah, we put this like powder down, and we killed some of them. We dug them up. They look like almost like a cicada, not a cicada, but like a June bug sort of something. I don't know. And it just they're underground. They just eat at the
because the bamboo's dying. I'm like, good, kill the bamboo.
The grubs they killed our front yard.
They kill everything.
Yeah, dude. We just had dirt in certain parts. In certain patches, they just fucking killed it. Dude.
Well, I was gonna get turf. We were talking about the turf in
that'd be cool.
Veterans Stadium in MLB Hat Billy, but I was like, there's this place that sells like repurposed old turf, and I was like, oh, that'd be sweet. I get like a 50-yard line in the backyard.
Yeah.
Is he? But yeah, I get some just old high school football turf. And I'm not even gonna do turf right because there's a whole process where you like take up the grass, tamp it down, put down a weed barrier, put down gravel. I was like, no, dude, I'm just gonna throw it like a carpet right over the top of the grass.
And then I was watching this video about
Cheapo.
AstroTurf from like the early 90s or 80s. We're like, yeah, and the guy that was like, I guess the foreman or whatever is like, it's 3 times softer than artificial turf. And if you want to come down here and play on it or whatever you want to do, you'll see. I'm like, dude, that's the biggest fucking lie I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It was some video they were laying it down, and people know AstroTurf is shitty.
It is. I just keep switching the song for shits and gigs.
It's up to you.
Uh.
But yeah, so that was a really good video that he posted. He was talking about it. I was like, I left a comment. I was like, yeah, dude, fucking totally shortened their career.
Yeah.
Have you ever played on AstroTurf?
I have. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Of course, the places I played wasn't like MLB turf either. It was like shitty, the cheapest turf the school could afford.
It's hard. It hurts.
We kind of got it in like the Northwest because it made sense because it rained all the fucking time. So your infield was constantly douched and muddy, so it kind of made sense to just go turf everywhere and then just dirt around the bases, and that's eventually what our high school did.
And plus, Veterans Stadium had that fucking like little hump thing or whatever, and it fucked people up, man.
Yeah, I love that. Here's a question I got then for the only last segment I could throw at you is the Juan Soto free agency numbers. This has to do with the Saber 2 analytics.
Is that what they're basing his contract on, I guess?
Well, so like Trout got, I think, 10, like Trout's the nearest I would think you could value as far as like these dudes are like near consistently MVP numbers. But then the thing about Soto that's a little different than Trout is Trout did that contract when he was like 27, and it was like a $425 million or something, and as a 10-year. But Soto's 24 years fucking old, dude.
He's young.
And when you look at, and this is the Saber nerdery.
He's a little boy.
So all the dudes looking at Soto are trying to figure out, like extrapolate what's this dude's production going to be.
Yeah.
And it's the little bell curve. It's going to keep going actually better until he's like 29 or 30. So like Trout, you sign him at 27, you got a couple years, and he's going to be on the decline. Soto,
number, right, usually?
Yeah, like they just apply it across the board. So like Soto's one of these rare dudes where he's kind of insane, really, really young. And if you did a 12-year, it's not like Pujols where he's old as fuck.
And he's
like you're getting, like if you did a 10 or 12-year, is like shit, that's still at least like 36.
Because at that point, when Pujols got signed,
he'd
already been in the league, 10, 11 years at that point?
Yeah, you can't give huge contracts these dudes on the backside of 30. So, but like Soto's the one guy you could lock up because now it seems like a massively big number. But that's what you said about A-Rod's contract. Like, oh, that's the biggest contract ever. It's so huge.
The Rangers will never forgive him for what he did.
Well, I mean, but his contract's peanuts, right, compared to Trout.
Yeah.
So like Soto, you need to break the record with that contract and do something huge like a 10 or 12 year. And everybody's like, oh my God, biggest contract ever.
Trey Roberts says nice bandage.
Trey, what's up, dude? I appreciate that.
Nice bandage.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just head wound to apparently shot twice in the head. Walked out of Audie Murphy VA hospital a week ago, confused as hell.
Bonnie's been on the case trying to figure it out.
Bonnie's been figuring it out.
He ruled me out today, which was great because I was nervous. I was in school. I was in the escuela. I was learning, so it couldn't have been me.
Okay.
Because like, if I would have rolled up, clearly someone would have noticed me because I come over here quite often.
Yeah.
But so I
wasn't found at the house. I was found soaking wet in the drainage ditch behind
weird,
the house.
Which was weird, right? Because where the footage of you getting shot was clearly right outside the patio.
That's crazy.
So I wish I would have known what happened. I could have helped you, but now it goes.
But I guess what I have to do now, because they can't get the bullets out of the cranium, there's like a card you get for airport security.
My question is
that says I have metal.
My next question is
in my head.
Because you have metal in your head.
Yeah.
Is there a government conspiracy? Is that bullet, quote unquote, whatever, metal, have a tracking thing in it? So all they do is they can buzz you and you can just like freeze up and they can control you?
I have no idea. I'm still quite confused.
It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's kind of nerve-wracking,
Do you think it's a magic bullet? GFK got hit with one of those.
I'm gonna say no, but then again, I don't know. So I don't.
Speaking of being from Dallas, have you been to Dealey Plaza?
Where the guy got shot?
Yeah.
I saw the tour, but I didn't go inside. But I did get to see the outside of the building, and I got to see the window.
Yeah.
And they showed me on the grassy area where this was. And I watched like an hour and a half documentary about where they interviewed different people that worked there, and they tried to like plan it out according to statements like, oh, at 1 o'clock I was here doing this, eating lunch, and then at this time, and then we're like, any of you guys ever see the guy who shot him at this time? They're like, no, and the stories are so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Did he do it? I don't know, but at this point, I'm leaning towards no.
Yeah. I got 2 stories about Dealey Plaza.
Go for it.
One is, so I joined the Marine Corps after Lubbock Christian, and you have to do this thing called MEPS.
MEPS?
MEPS.
Like
and
maps with an E?
MEPS.
Okay.
And it's medical processing. So they're going to send you to boot camp, but whatever town you're from, before you go, you have to go, and they have to check you to make sure you have gonorrhea or whatever it is.
Gonorrhea.
And MEPS
Gonorrhea. Whoa. Gonorrhea.
for like the Dallas-Fort Worth area is like right there. There's like a fucking federal building or something, Navy, next to Dealey Plaza, and they put you up in the shittiest. It was probably the fucking hotel where Oswald hid out.
You were downtown.
Yeah, it was right downtown.
Yeah.
It was the shittiest like $6 hotel. They're like, you can stay for free night before MEPS because you got to get up so early. And then you go to MEPS, and MEPS is lame as shit. They're like trying to treat you like shit because you're like already signed the contract, but you're like don't even have a rank or whatever. So they're just like screaming at you, usually like run around and like get your shots or whatever the fuck it is. But it was right. I was like, afterwards, I was like, I want to check out this Dealey Plaza thing. I went to the grassy knoll. I was looking at all the buildings, and I'm pretty convinced like Oswald. I'm not saying there wasn't a second shooter, but we watched so much JFK in middle school. It was like an entire segment of like one of my semesters in high school. No, it was high school. Our English teacher, Miss Sutherland, made us watch the fucking movie in class. Oh, shit. But they're like talking about what a difficult shot it was. Easiest rifle shot ever. So even if his sights were fucking off, you're basically shooting somebody barely across the street from you from elevation,
it's
from like 5 stories up. They're like, oh, it's a 250-foot shot. Well, fucking baseball fields are 325 down the line, so it was like a 250-foot shot, but it was really only like 150 foot, and he was up 100 feet.
See,
that's fucking.
That's where they get you. They tell you like the footage, like it makes you think like, oh shit, it's far. But when you go there and see the distance, it's pretty fucking close.
It's way close. Like shooting from the book depository down into that street was fucking way close.
Like I felt like you could have put an amateur rifleman there, and they probably could have still pulled it off.
Yeah. Also, the only thing, I guess they're like, well, why didn't he shoot him when he was coming right down the street at him? I was like, I don't know. That would make sense if you had a third shooter on the grassy knoll and that was the kill box.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me, at least from what I've read and seen. Yeah. There's 2 things that stick out to me. Maybe I've missed this through like watching stuff, but they never claimed that he was crazy or anything, and they never given a reason as to why he did it. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Hey, dude, you're from Dallas, right? You used to listen to The Ticket, right?
Dude, fuck yeah! I listened to it.
And Reiner, Mike Reiner, the wolf, the old gray wolf.
Yeah, I used to listen to them, and
dude, he was so funny, but unabashedly, he's like. They were talking about JFK, and he's like, yeah, that's when JFK finally got it through his fucking head that we didn't like him in Texas. Like, it's pretty on PC, but it's hilarious. I'm sorry.
You would like...
I mean, not hilarious. But
going downtown...
The fact that he would say it is a Family Guy level.
I also have an article, a newspaper, obviously not the original, but like a reprint of that day after he got shot, or the day after, I guess. So it was like a... What do you call it?
Yeah.
Like a remade paper or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. I still have it. It's like, okay, JFK shot, blah, blah.
It's crazy.
What was fucking crazy was like that guy that shot him when he was getting escorted. The guy, what was the guy that shot JFK? His name?
Okay.
Roy
Oswald.
Yeah.
Oswald.
How he got shot by that random guy when they were trying to transport him.
Roy Oswald.
He was like, hey, fuck.
Okay. Actually, I got an even crazier baseball assassination connection story to follow up on that.
If you say Little Willie Jones, man.
So,
No.
So that was crazy. And I'm not saying it's funny that JFK got shot because that's horrible and tragic. I'm just saying
Texas is the reason. Wasn't there a band or something?
I'm saying it's funny that Reiner would say it, because if you knew Reiner and he didn't give a shit, that he would just say something like that to make Corby react is like Family Guy level comedy. So not funny JFK shot. It's just Mike Reiner was funny when he had that line. But here's a crazy baseball connection to RFK getting killed in LA.
Who?
Robert F. Kennedy, assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan in like the back lobby of the Ambassador Hotel. This is baseball. This is baseball craziness. So Zach Manassian. It was the book I was probably talking shit about 2 podcasts ago. Zach Manassian was the clubhouse boy. Basically, it was him and Tommy Lasorda running the entire Ogden Dodgers A-ball back in like the 60s. And he was fucking 16.
Those were the times.
So it was like Lasorda ran the team, and this dude was like a 16-year-old GM clubhouse, did the laundry, like all that shit. Like that's how it was. This was a team with like Bobby Valentine, Bill Buckner, all these dudes. But the reason Lasorda knew Zach Manassian as a 16-year-old, and I haven't read it, but Zach Manassian's dad was the head of catering and like the running the restaurant at the Ambassador Hotel.
It was the fucking caterers, huh?
So check this out. But the Ambassador Hotel was like the baller shit in the 60s. Anybody who was anybody, like you were an actor, a movie star, you went to the Ambassador Hotel. They had a really nice hotel. They did ballroom shit.
So a motherfucker like myself couldn't get a reservation there, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, he had like the store is like the who's who of whatever. And so Lasorda was like a Dodgers guy, and he would go to the Ambassador, and this was like dudes were cut from different cloth, like in the 60s. These were all like just dudes, and so like that's how he got to know Lasorda. And so he knew his kid liked baseball. He's like, why don't you go up in the summers and be the clubhouse guy for Lasorda in Ogden? And it's the greatest book. It's called Lasorda University. But his dad, Zach Manassian's dad, was like ran catering for the Ambassador, was there when RFK got shot. Okay, so Zach Manassian had an entire life and career in baseball. He went from clubhouse guy in A-ball in Ogden to kind of like following around Bobby Valentine because they became such good friends. He was a fucking clubhouse guy for the Texas Rangers for like 20 years or something. And I think he has 3 boys, all worked their way up in Major League Baseball as clubhouse guys or whatever, front office. And now they're all like front office or GM guys. Perry Manassian, his fucking son, is the GM for the Angels. I'm not saying the Angels are doing great, and people probably want him fired.
We're getting choked up. The story's emotional, I know.
But that's kind of a crazy connection, right? We just because that's what we do. Rabbit holes. JFK to RFK to Zach Manassian to Perry Manassian's fucking GM of the Angels.
To another one.
And his granddaddy was there.
To another one. Okay, so here's a stupid story. So back when I was playing music, you know, I started this one band. After the original band that I was in kicked me out because we disagreed on what we wanted to do with the band. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I started this band with this dude, and I wanted. Okay, do you remember the Oklahoma City bombings?
I do. That's horrible. We flew at half staff for last and junior college baseball games.
So I never did this because if we would have played a show with this band, we probably would have got shot and killed. I wanted to name the band Timothy McVeigh's.
Oh, that'd be bad. I wouldn't do that.
And so
McVeigh was a nut, man.
Because like, and I was decided on 2 names, right? I was like, let's call ourselves. I have an idea for a band: the McVeigh's or the Timothy McVeigh's. And I thought, because I was young then, I'm still young. I'm not really that old, but I was like fucking 19, 20 years old. Like that. And I didn't give a shit. I still don't. But looking back now, we wouldn't have been able to play. Maybe, I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, that'd have been a turn off for a lot of. I mean, I know, like punk is like against counterculture.
Not necessarily.
In many ways, but
I don't think no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
No, because, like, whatever, it's just a name.
Like, that dude's kind of a huge piece of shit. But, like, yeah, I mean...
There's a whole nother story with that guy didn't even do it or something, too.
I don't know. It's crazy how they caught his ass. It was kind of luck.
I don't remember.
It was weird, but...
I've watched documentaries on that guy, too, and there's people like, no, he was framed. But then, like, sometimes when they say, oh, this guy's fucking framed, they're like, well, what evidence do you have? Like, well, if you look at this, but then you're like, that doesn't make sense. Of course, like, there's conspiracies where every time somebody kills somebody, there's always conspiracy that's like, oh, he didn't do it, or they didn't do it, she didn't do it, whatever.
Like, if they hated the federal government and taxes and all that stuff, you want to blow up a federal building?
You know what I always say, too?
I guess just make sure it's empty. I don't want to pay taxes either. I got an extension. I got to pay in, like, fucking 7 days.
Every year, taxes got to get paid.
October 16th.
Just like I always tell people, Pancho Villa wasn't a bad guy. Sure, people died, but that's the price of freedom, or the price
Good God.
for his people.
Yeah. Fucking. But it's wild world out there. So
yeah, it is. It's you gotta be careful.
Somehow we started off on Juan Soto's long-term contract and got to RFK, Sirhan, and Timothy McVeigh.
Well,
it's just crazy.
We don't have a script. We have like outlines of topics, but they never go in that order.
Oh, yeah. But it's awesome. It's why we've gotten 3 Golden Globes. So that's kind of a recipe that works.
All of our scripts and shit, other videos we've done, no script. We just turn on the camera and we're like, okay, we kind of want to go this way. Let's see what happens.
But on the Soto thing, just to the problem I have of talking over you is I never finish. I have to finish. I have this like fucking ADHD thing where I have to finish the rest of that thought. Here's what I'm saying on Soto.
Go for it.
So the aging curve thing with Soto will come in effect when he's like 29, 30. He'll fucking level off, and then the 30s are generally still productive, but you're going down. The only fucking curve, if you look at all the fucking advanced analytics the Saver is making me get nerdy with, the only curve that keeps going up and getting better into your 30s is fucking walks and plate discipline. Tends to get better with your age in the league, which is insane because fucking Soto is already the best in the fucking league at plate discipline. Like every fucking year, like his baseball savant numbers is fucking insane how disciplined he is. So you're telling me this motherfucker is just going to get better at getting on base as he gets to be like 35? That is a non-perishable ability. Like you lose some power, okay, you're not 30 homers, now you're hitting 21. You're still on base all the fucking time. So for people trying to hand out a contract to Soto, the guy's a fucking on-base machine. I think you're looking at probably a Hall of Famer. He doesn't get injured a whole lot, miss a whole lot of games. I think he's going to be worth a record-breaking contract, and it's going to be worth it at this point because he's young. If he was 27, 28, I would say don't fucking do it. But
it's crazy.
Soto's kind of worth it because you get it cheaper.
It's crazy to think like the things that he's done and like how long he's been playing, like since like what 19 or some shit when he came to the league.
Well, I'm biased. I went into the project thinking I was going to shit all over him. I thought my whole little paper was going to be like he ain't worth the money. And the more I dug into his numbers, I was like,
as they say, fuck him.
I was like, dude, I think he maybe is worth like a huge contract. Because I was like, he's overrated. It's because of the Nationals World Series. He was all 19 years old, and it's like whatever, so special. And I was like, he's not that good. He's not that good. And then the more I dug into it, I was like, no, dude, you want to lock this dude up long term right now.
That team this year was the fucking biggest disappointment of all
time.
I
don't know how the fucking Padres went 82-80. That's impossible.
Well, Tatis got suspended.
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't help things.
But he came back, right? That should have been a shot in the arm of an already insane lineup. And then you got like Schnell and Darvish and like, I don't know how.
Like there are so many videos that I've seen about their disappointment and like them talking about it. It was hilarious because they were favored to win the World Series by a lot of people.
They looked like they had everything, but I guess it's because the D-backs, nobody saw them being this good.
And
then the Dodgers went unconscious. So
the Dodgers always find some way to.
The Giants weren't bad. The whole NL West was kind of Thunderdome. So, Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what the fuck else I got.
Maybe
I just
back
want
then.
to kind of figure out, like, get my memory back, just figure out what happened with the shooting. I mean, I don't really care. I think it's kind of cool to have bullets in your head. You can brag about that.
It's like, I don't really
you know?
care. You're probably the most positive dude after getting shot I've ever met in my life.
Scherzer comes back. But
My family's Rangers fans, so they're like, they ain't shit talking. I would be if I was them, but they're not.
Rangers fans, if you're a Rangers fan and you're shit talking, I'm questioning whether you've ever been a Rangers fan.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
are you aware?
They're not shit talking because they know that my aunt's husband texted me that he's like, I was like, damn, this fucking sucks. That we lost. It's like the Rangers are the same way. We've fucked up quite a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations are that our hearts will be torn out.
So you got this is a 7-game series, right?
No, 5.
5. That's like
Five.
3, 5, 7. Yeah, that's right.
3, 5, 7, and then World Series 7. So
I thought we were gonna play the Blue Jays at first, but then that last couple days of the season made us play the fucking Rangers.
yeah,
Dude, I was like, we're gonna beat the Rangers. But you know what's funny?
we limped into the playoffs.
We always play the Rangers.
yeah.
The last 5. Well, I'm not sure like how many times, but we made the playoffs 5 years in a row, and I think like 2 or 3 of them we played the
Yeah.
Rangers.
I don't know.
The Rangers and the Rays is a little mild rivalry there.
I don't know. The Rangers fans will not talk shit. That's one fan base you can count on not talking a lot of shit.
Now that I think about it, I've never met a shit talking Ranger fan. I've met a lot of Fairweather fans.
You'd have
for
to
sure,
be
but-
you'd have to be a dumb ass Rangers fan to talk shit. I know it'll happen if they ever do win it.
Oh, cool.
We're that dumb.
They'll turn into the Astro fans. Probably.
I don't know. We'll turn the Astros fan, but the first thing we'll do is flip
Yeah.
shit at Astros fans who flipped us shit. But it's never going to happen. So, but I'm very hopeful with Chris Young at GM and some of the stuff they're doing. So it's looking like a very strong rebuild. Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, Tommy John.
I made this joke to my aunt and her husband the other day. Whenever we got swept by the Rangers. So this is a story I'm going on here. So when I visit them,
Ooh, give yourself a new tune. Give yourself the outro.
I'm gonna go
Chatter.
this one.
Okay,
Let me hit
hit
it.
that one. There we go. Nice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, no. So this summer, I went to do a little hang out with the family, do a little meetup thing. And so I was there. I got some stuff, and I got a Michael Young bobblehead.
Yeah, great hair.
Got it in the summer. Like this was probably 25% of the way through the season, very early on. So I made a joke. I was like, ever since I brought that Michael Young bobblehead into my home, the Rays ain't been the same.
Yeah,
Even
could
though
be the curse of Michael Young.
even though this shit was like in June.
That guy should be a hitting instructor somewhere, frankly.
Yeah, it's a good sized bobblehead. It's probably the size of this mic stand.
Oh, I didn't know mini bobblehead. Full
It's a
size.
good- it's
Full
heavy.
sizer.
It's
yeah.
heavy too.
Yeah.
So I have it in my house. Like ever since I got that bobblehead, the Rays ain't been the same. Something's been off about them. So I was like, I blame this fucking bobblehead for this fucking season. But no, it's a damn shame the way we started. And I knew we weren't gonna stay that hot for that long. But damn, dude, it just feels like it's a waste.
Yeah.
If we would have had healthy players and Franco wouldn't, what happened with him, we would have got a first round
You
bye.
think you've seen it all. You think you've seen it all, but you haven't.
We would have got a first round bye.
Yeah.
And I hate saying this, man, but usually when there's one thing that comes out against somebody, it only gets worse. Oh, they were drunk and this and that.
Yeah.
And I really hope it comes out that this was all a fucking bullshit scheme, but
Yeah.
it's not looking good, buddy. That fucking
Coach
guy,
Kent Murphy. That was one of his. This is a dinger derby. He's just the funniest shit. When he's just, yeah, you see. I know you've seen all the Kent Murphys, but he's
talk
like,
shit about their family.
he's like, does the dinger derby? We finally crashed. Our system finally crashed.
It's dead.
Perfect. Yeah, it's froze.
Yeah. Well, if we do still have audio in some way, shape, or form,
You never.
we're about to shut her down.
It's my internet at the house. It's fucked up.
This OBS Studio reconnection successful.
Is it?
It's what it says. Here's what's funny.
Yeah.
On the
Excellent connection.
The
Is it
stream-
reconnected?
mouse is dead too, apparently.
I need
But-
to wiggle it or click something.
Anyway,
I don't know.
it's funny because the studio says excellent connection, right? Excellent connection.
I think it's a sign to outro, frankly.
Yeah, let's
Our
switch,
shit's starting to break down.
let's switch it up to this song.
But, Coach Kent Murphy, when he does Dinger Dermy, he just says a bunch of hilarious shit. he says a bunch of hilarious stuff when he hits dingers, and one of them is Aaron Hernandez gone forever, and the other one that I remember is Teen Mom butt sex. So Coach Kent Murphy's got some money one-liners when he's hitting dingers. I don't know why more college people aren't doing that.
That would have been. I would have made it into like a series of some kind. Like I don't know, like a full like 20-minute episode show, but maybe like 10 minutes or something, right? Like a short series.
I mean, that kind of stuff should go into Cooperstown. I know it's not going to make it into the Hall of Fame, but in my opinion, that's a part of baseball legend, Coach Ken Murphy's comedy.
I've never seen his comedy stuff.
I've seen some of his stuff. He's got some stuff on there.
I mean,
I don't know if he's like a writer for a show now or what he does, but just legend. Greatest coach of all time. Coach Kent Murphy. Greatest coach you'll ever play for.
Disgrace their family.
Disgrace their family.
Like, and I love that episode that video where he did different type of players who get hit by pitches.
Yeah.
And that one where he's like, I'm not going to charge the mound. I'm not going to charge the mound. And he just starts hauling ass towards the mound.
Yeah.
He's like...
That dude's greatness. Man. Well, good show, bud. Thanks for talking about presidential assassinations.
Well, I was
presidential candidate assassinations.
Like a nice little conspiracy theory / presidential shooting. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't like a president getting shot. I meant to say a nice story about president shootings. Or my English is bad. I barely know English. My English is fucked up, but
I mean, I don't know. I'm just surprised the SAPD has not really taken any interest in the fact that he just got shot in the head twice and left for dead. So
they don't give a shit. You're on the bottom of their list. They're more conservative.
I'm pretty unimportant, and Mr. Nakatomi let me know this week in more ways than one. Honestly, I'll just say this as far as like the last outro segment, just so because you weren't there. I don't know when you showed up at the office, but Nakatomi throws a scotch bottle, blasts off the wall, glass in the face, tells me I'm fired. Just starts like slapping me around, throwing stuff around the room. His freaking translator is silent because he's speaking like broken English at this point. Okay. He's petrified. It's a nightmare. So I was like, obviously we're not playing golf today. Then he's like, fine. He's like, fine. I'm not done with you yet. I'm gonna make your life hell or whatever. You're getting relocated to Busan. You're gonna be like doing like communications or whatever, like front office stuff at the Busan steel plant. And then he just completely goes into full Japanese, which as far as I could tell is Japanese cussing. And then I'm ushered out of the office by Yoshio, the new translator. So I'm just like, what?
Well,
I can't even remember my name. And then Nakatomi goes off on me.
I was there that day, but I was not...
Was he sober when you saw him? This was like 10:30 in the morning.
Here's the thing. I was there. I got there early that day, right? I got there like 6 a.m. to kind of prep and stuff. So about 9:30, I headed to the cafeteria for like a 30-minute break. I was eating my pickled bologna, right, and my fucking Dr. Pepper, and I came back, and that's when I saw the after effects of what happened. And you wouldn't speak on it. I don't know if you were scared, but I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I do remember what happened afterwards. It was all, the office was messy. You were kind of shooken up.
I'm still shook.
Anyway. He never really yelled at me, but then again, he didn't really care for me a whole lot. He's just like, I trust you to do your job. Why he would take his anger out on you constantly, I don't understand. I was like, hey, come on, Vato, take it easy, relax. He wouldn't do it. He's like, I don't speak Spanish. And I was like,
crazy.
You know what's weird? He would speak broken English to you, but when he talked to me, it was perfect English, like perfect.
I don't know. It depends on how much scotch he's had.
He had it out against you, man.
I mean, if you're at 10:30 in the morning, like if he starts before noon, it's always bad. But
he told you to like, oh, if you do this and come work for me, I will make your life so much awesome. Like, I
mean, I don't have anywhere else to work, so I just want to give thanks to Dutch Chattahoochee,
all the listeners,
Bonnie, Mo Jorgen, ATG crew, Trey,
Hat Billy,
Jake Whalen, MLB Hat Billy, Mike G, Scotty B, the OGs, Seguin River Monsters, and everybody else who supports baseball nonsense.
I will say one more thing before we close this bad boy out.
Yeah.
Beefy Bill, you're still a fucking jobber.
There you go. I got to get down with the wrestling again.
So fuck you and your headgear.
How long have we been going for? Let's get some stats before we click end. How long have we been jibber jabbering on our hog?
About an hour and a half. An hour 32.
That works. That's our show. Bullets in my head, man.
So yeah,
Can't remove them.
I want ATG to fucking clip this, okay? I lost my rematch. Fuck you, Beefy Bill. And once again, Beefy Bill, you're still a fucking jobber, and fuck you and your fucking headgear.
There you go.
I got my ass kicked twice by this man.
Again, well, dude, fucking Turnstile got turned out like
fucking
a
spear,
biker gang hoe.
fucking jackhammer.
First ones I saw. I gotta start watching it and see if I got any better at wrestling. But
the commentary alone is the greatest fucking
it
thing
really
of
is.
all time.
Really is.
I want to kick Beefy Bill's ass
River Monsters for
at
Life.
some point.
I need Dutch Head